Hi, I'm Jenny from Refresh Living, and today I've got all my tricks for how to fill raised garden beds. New raised garden beds, as well as how to replenish them in the spring. You don't have to buy the expensive pre-mixed stuff. There's an easy DIY solution.
After trying out a couple of different combinations, I found that there are 3 ingredients. I don't know, would you call these ingredients? Well, whatever. 3 things that when you mix them together work really well to grow really nice plants.
All of these you can find at any home improvement store and will save a lot of money when you mix it yourself rather than buying the bags that are already made up. But before we get to that recipe, if you're starting your raised beds from scratch and are needing to fill them up completely, I would recommend first putting in a layer of cardboard or a couple layers of newspaper. This just helps keep the weeds from creeping up the side, and it will eventually break down. Then you'll want to fill the bottom third with as much free organic matter as you can find. So leaves work really well for this, sticks, even just like dirt that you may have dug up from other areas of your yard, leftover mulch from the year before. All of that's just going to help fill up space and be cheaper than filling that whole thing up with the soil mixture we're going to talk about right after this. All right, here's my favorite combination for creating soil for raised beds.
Don't worry too much about exact fractions here, but basically you're going to need a third of the mixture is going to be enriched topsoil with extra compost added. A third of the mixture is going to be peat moss, and a third will be vermiculite. A couple of notes on the topsoil. So enriched topsoil is topsoil with compost added. You can find this at home and garden centers in bags, or if you're filling raised beds for the first time, I would highly recommend looking at gardening centers that offer bulk delivery, and they will often have blends already made of the enriched topsoil. So we had a few yards delivered to be able to fill this and some other areas that we had to fill as well, and it saved us a lot of money. In addition to the enriched topsoil, you'll want to add extra compost. The enriched topsoil just doesn't have quite enough, I've found, to give the plants the nutrients that really help them thrive. So you can use a lot of different types of compost for this. Cow manure compost, mushroom compost, chicken poop compost, worm castings, or compost from your backyard compost pile are all great sources of nutrients. I usually mix a few of them together, and it's worked well. To fill the raised beds, you'll want to do a layering technique. So you'll put in the enriched topsoil, add in the extra compost, add in the peat moss, add in the vermiculite, and then mix it all together, and then do another layer of that. You can see in the video that I used sand. You don't really need to do this. It doesn't actually add any benefit. I just had a few bags laying around and used it to fill space, but it doesn't really do much. Also, you'll see that I was only doing the second layer. I had already done one layer where I mixed everything together in the video, and this was the second layer that I just worked in on top. I have another video with how I made these L-shaped garden beds, and there's also a link in the description to my blog for all things home and garden DIY on a budget. Thanks for watching.